Okay. So this is audit report, right? And the part we just learned just now, the part where we learned just now, we covered just now. Hold on, let me just. Uh, okay. So the part where we learned just now is relating to this part only. Excuse me. It's relating to opinion and basis for opinion. Like how do you derive at appropriate opinion? Okay, just now we covered this part. So now, as auditor, the next step is to consider what are other paragraphs that we might need to include. Okay, so for example, in here we saw key audit matters. Okay, what else? Any information other than FS, which is OI. This one is in Malaysia's template lah, so sometimes the structure and the wording used is a bit different. Okay, ini tak ada personal responsibility ni memang wajib kena ada. Okay, other matters paragraph. Okay, alright. So we are going to learn on what are possible additional paragraph to be included in our audit report. Okay, so these files, guys, I share with you. It's in the Timbaplex, already in Timbaplex. Okay, this under this category of class material. You scroll down, don't forget to refresh, and it's in additional para in audit report. Okay, so I'm going to send this copy here again in the chat box if you prefer to download from the chat box. Just a 2-page of additional notes. Okay. All right, so now let's go through this one by one. Okay. All right. The first additional paragraph to be included in audit report is relating to, the name of the paragraph is key audit matters, or CAM, KAM, CAM. Okay, now we must understand this first before we look into these notes. Okay. Right now, if your client is a listed entity, okay, so as per ISA, you should choose, or you should include, it is compulsory for you to include this additional paragraph called key audit matters. Okay, so the content of this key audit matters is basically you need to choose at least one issues, or not to say issues, at least one matter, one accounts to be included in the audit report, to be included in KAM, which you think the most difficult things to audit for that year. Okay, let's say you are auditing 7-Eleven. Okay, and out of all the accounts stated in or presented in FS, you might think that it is very, very, very difficult to audit revenue. Why? Because revenue for 7-Eleven, okay, the volume is a lot, kan? For a convenience store, the volume is large, and at the same time, it is relating to small amount. So maybe auditor find it quite difficult to audit revenue. So this is the function of key audit matters. You must choose at least one matters to be communicated to the user of the report, to be communicated to the user of FS that, okay, to audit this company, I find it difficult to audit, let's say, revenue. Okay, so that's the function of key audit matters. However, you must bear in mind that matters included in this KAM must be matters which your client has done correctly. Yes, it's difficult to audit, but at the end of the day, you manage to audit that account, and your conclusion is that accounts is fairly stated, meaning that there is no misstatement. Okay, that account show true and fair view. Okay, so yeah. So you include that in the KAM. Okay, so now let's go through together the notes here. Okay, by definition, KAM should be included when matters, or for matters which are the most significant identified by the audits of the current year. So the keyword here is most significant, meaning that it's the most significant, most serious. Okay, and that matters is related to the current year. Don't communicate to the user on the matters which already happened last year. Okay, tak perlulah. Okay, it is compulsory for listed company. Okay, and must be at least one matter. Okay, so as per what we have seen in the 7-Eleven, I think they have about 2, because 7-Eleven is a listed entity. Okay, so therefore this is the paragraph. Okay, and this is where they explain what is the function of this paragraph, and then they identify that this is number 1. It is difficult for them to audit recognitions of rebate and incentive income from vendor. Okay, what else? Revenue from contract with customer and cost of sales. Okay, number 3, impairment assessment of goodwill and trademarks. What else? That's it, 3. They highlight 3 matters which is we consider to be the most significant during for the current year audit. Okay, so this is guideline how to determine on the left side, how to determine the most significant issues. Okay, this is most important. Issues has been resolved. Resolve here means that at the end of the day, there is no issues. There's no misstatement, there's no issues. Okay. However, when auditor try to resolve the matter, it requires a lot of effort, requires a lot of time and attention, requires a lot of headache. And sometimes, why is it require a lot of effort, time, and headache? Is usually because it requires judgment, estimation, and complex issues. Okay. Okay. Also, another guidance for auditor is perhaps that issue arose as a result of significant internal control deficiencies. Okay. So yeah, if any of the accounts meet all these criteria, then yes, you might want to include that in the KAM. Okay, so now, how do you want to present KAM in the report? Remember these three. I think it's supposed to be four. What, and where lah. What and where. Okay, what? So what is it? I mean, yeah, what account is it? Is it revenue? Is it trade receivable? Okay, what? Where? Number two is where. Where is basically, where does the item appear in FS? Is it in notes number 12 or notes number 24 or notes number 25? Okay, notes is basically this one lah. Hold on. This is my FS. Okay, this is the notes kan? This is notes number, what number is this? Oh, belum lagi. Notes the financial statement. This is notes number 1, notes number 2, and so on. So you have to guide the user of FS. Where can you find those accounts? Is it in notes number 2? Okay, for example. Alright, so what is it? Where is it? Appear in FS? Why? Explain to the user of the report why you consider this to be the most significant. Let's say for issues of revenue just now, you might want to say that revenue for 7-Eleven is the volume is huge and at lower amount than at immaterial amount. On top of that, they highly reliance on the IT software or something like that lah to derive at the sales amount. So explain to the user why do you consider that matter to be difficult to audit. Okay, why? And then how you audit. How you audit is basically your procedure. Which is why we can see from here. Okay, now right after this is what? This is why. Okay, I believe this is the reason. This is why. Okay, this is what. Sorry, this is what. This is where. This is why, and this is how. How they resolve the matter, or how is the procedure lah to ensure that this item has been tested, and at the end of the day there is no issues. Okay, this is the procedure. So yeah, remember. Okay, what, where, why, and how. Alright, just extra notes for you. If you are going to issue disclaimer of opinion, therefore there is no need for KM. When you issue disclaimer of opinion, okay, back to my notes just now. Where is it? Before we break just now. When you would like to issue disclaimer of opinion, it means that auditor unable to obtain sufficient evidence and that matter is pervasive, meaning that out of all the FS, you are unable to audit most of the item in the FS. Perhaps due to flood, natural disaster, okay, we are unable to audit the financial statement. So auditor can issue disclaimer of opinion. Therefore, when you issue disclaimer of opinion, it is not fair for you to include KM because you cannot even audit. How can you determine which area is considered to be difficult to audit, kan? Nak audit pun tak boleh, you nak decide yang mana yang susah. Memang tak make sense lah. It doesn't make sense. Alright, okay, KM. I noticed in my module, I did include one question relating to this. Where is it? Let me just... yeah. Okay, so look at requirement D1. Describe the factors which the audit engagement partner would have considered in determining that this issue is a KAM. Describe the factors is basically relating to my notes on the left side. Okay, has it been resolved? However, to be able to resolve requires a lot of effort, time, and attention. Headache ni, I think no need lah to put in. I just want to make you understand what to be included in KAM. Meaning that I want the message to reach you that for KAM it's actually very, very difficult to audit, but at the end of the day we're able to audit. Okay, so how many marks is this? I think it's only around what? 2, maybe here 3. Okay, to be able to get 5. So yeah, it is very easy. Alright, number 2, describe the content of KAM section. Content, guys. Content is basically just now lah, on the right side. What, where, why, and how. But of course, you need to present it in a full sentence and in a proper way. Okay, short is okay, but make sure full of input. As per AAA examiner, kan, for ACCA dia cakap must be short and punchy. Gitu, punchy. Okay, so yeah, pretty easy kan? If this question came out in exam, can you answer now? Should be boleh kan? Okay, what is this? It is now 12th November. During the audit, identified 5 product lines which were very slow moving and are being cost. Yeah, I think you can just throw in the answer for this one. Okay, done on KAM. Alright, let's move on. EOM, emphasis of matter. When should you include EOM paragraph in your audit report? Now listen to me. KAM and EOM is more or less the same thing. However, the difference is basically KAM difficult to audit, while EOM easier to audit. Okay, now let's go through the definition. This paragraph is inserted to highlight shareholders' attention to matters which have already correctly presented. Consistent with KAM, right? It is for the matters which has been resolved, meaning that there is no misstatement. There is no misstatement. Okay, which correctly presented in FS, and it is considered to be fundamental to the shareholders' understanding of the FS. Fundamental here means usually it is material. Usually means it is material to FS. Okay, usually material to FS. Actually, I did put here. Okay, what are examples? Provision for legal action, but with uncertainty. When you want to sign the audit report, you are still, or the lawyer, or the outcome for this provision for legal action is still uncertain. Okay, it's still ongoing. So the amount is, let's say, 1 million. Is it material? Yes. Client record provision? Yes. So is there any issues? No. However, you want to communicate this to the shareholder, to the user. So you include under EOM. Okay, what are other examples? If you still remember your IAS 10, events after reporting period, okay, sometimes auditor already signed audit report once, okay, and suddenly there is a new events after reporting period, which client want to amend, okay, amend FS or include disclosure lah, as per IAS 10. So auditors are required to issue a second audit report. So you want to communicate this in saying that the first report can no longer be used. Please use the second report. How do you communicate this? You can choose to communicate this under EOM. Why? Because client has correctly presented. I just want to inform my user. Okay, number 2. Number 3, let's say the company is not going concern and they correctly presented their FS using breakup basis. Correctly present their FS using breakup basis, which is correct. This is a correct treatment. If client are not going concern, they have to prepare FS based on breakup basis. Breakup basis means no longer present FS in non-current liability and non-current asset. Everything will be reclassed to current asset and current liability. And I believe, I'm not really sure about this, but I believe the figure should be restated to the market value or something like that. Okay, so client has done correctly? Yes. Do you want to communicate this to the user? Also, yes. So you put in under EOM. Okay. But this one plus one not really famous lah in AA. Early adoptions of new accounting standard. If your client don't know lah why kan, they want to lepas makan macam semput pula. Apa tadi? Your client choose to adopt a new accounting standard earlier as compared to others. So is it wrong? No. So do you want to communicate this to the user? Yes. So you put it under EOM. Okay, so this one easy to audit. This one difficult to audit. But remember, it is for the matters correctly presented in FS. If the matters is wrongly presented in FS, it won't fall under these two categories. It will fall under category of the one we learned just now, FSCMM. And if it will go to the other chart already, it will fall under the category of financial statement contain material misstatement, and auditor should consider what are appropriate opinion based on the severity, based on the progressiveness of the matter. Okay, move on. OM. Farzana, madam, example dia sama je macam KAM. Example, KAM, it could be anything. KAM, it could be anything. It doesn't limit, yeah, it could be anything. There's no specific example for KAM. Which part yang sama tu, Farzana? Which part is the same? Because KAM, it depends on the company. Certain company is difficult to audit revenue. Certain company is difficult to audit impairment. Certain company is difficult to audit PPE. But for EOM, yeah, the criteria is about the same. It is. Okay. Farzana mentioned in the chat box, KAM kan pakai estimation. EOM pun sama. Estimation apa tu? Okay, now. I did mention this just now when I want to start explain for EOM. KAM and EOM is more or less the same. How to differentiate is you look into how difficult to audit that accounts. How long does it take to audit that accounts? How difficult it is. If it is difficult to audit, then you throw under KAM. If it is easier to audit or just easy to audit, you throw it under EOM. Okay, so what does it mean by difficult? What does it mean by took longer time to audit? How complicated it is? It is up to the partner's judgment. If partners conclude that I think for this company it's very hard to audit the provision for whatever lah, provision for warranty. I want to include provision for warranty under KAM. So be it lah. Okay. Yeah. If let's say partner say let's say you are the senior in charge. You ask your partner, shall we include provision for legal action in KAM? So perhaps your partner reply to you saying that, oh, it's very easy to audit provision for legal action. I just call the lawyer. Lawyer explain to me the reason why it is probable and why lawyer thinks that maximum amount to be paid is 1 million. And I agree with the advice with the explanation by the lawyer. So I think it's very easy to audit provision for legal claim. So let's just put it under EOM. Okay, so KM EOM is actually the same. The difference is on the how difficult to audit that account. When it is difficult, it will take longer time to audit that accounts. Am I answering your confusion, Farzana? Okay, cool. Right, next, OM. OM. Okay, listen to me on OM. I always... Excuse me. Give me my hijab. Tiba-tiba tak ada suara pula. Hold on a second. Okay, continue. Okay, so other matters. Okay, as usual, I want you to understand first before we go through the notes. Okay, other matters is for matters where it is related to the audit but not related to the item in FS. Most of the time. Okay, I repeat, matters relating to the audit but not really related to the item in FS. For example, FS, prior year FS is not being audited by any of the firm. Okay, companies at UK, okay, let's say they have certain threshold. If your revenue didn't meet certain level, or if your share capital is only certain level, you are exempted from the audit. Okay, so perhaps our audit client, okay, for the prior year, they are not required to be audited. So to communicate that, we don't know where to put these issues, kan? So we campak or we throw under other matters paragraph, OM. Okay, so OM is basically a place where you dump all those information that you want to inform, that you want to communicate with your user, but it doesn't meet the criteria of EOM, doesn't meet the criteria of KM, doesn't meet the criteria of OI, and so on. Okay, example number two in AA. FS audited prior year, okay, it is audited prior year, but by another audit firm, meaning that we are the new auditor. Okay, prior year FS was audited by another audit firm. So we want to communicate this with the user. It doesn't meet the requirement of KM, EOM, whatever, so we put under OM, other matters. Okay. Now this one you can read lah, but it doesn't really be tested in AA lah. Okay, very rare lah. There was an issue which resulted to modified opinion in prior year, but issue has been resolved. We just want to communicate that prior year there is issues which lead to qualified except for opinion, for example, but in current year the issue has been resolved. Okay, sometimes very rare lah we communicate this. Right, next. OM, that one is OM. So the keyword here is highlight shareholders' attention on the matters other than presented in FS, meaning that it is not really related to the item presented in FS, but it is relating to the audit as a whole. Okay, next, OI. Now, what is OI? This is OI. This is OI. So this is annual report for 7/11/2021. Okay, and this is OI. I mean, corporate structure, corporate formation, board of director, profile of directors, community engagement milestone, company profile, sustainability statement, group FS, a group financial summary, group financial highlight, and so on. This is all what we call as a OI. General name is OI. Be it chairman statement, director statement, whatever statement, the general term that auditor call is OI. Now, this OI will be presented together with the FS. And of course, when it comes to FS, it will be presented together with the audit report, auditor's report. So, okay, so auditor feels like, okay lah, since it is presented together with the FS and presented together with the audit report, okay, auditor decide to read. Remember this, read. Auditor decide to read. Read all OI. Why read? Why only read? Read because they want to identify any material, inconsistencies with the FS. Okay, let me just show you one example. Sustainability. Okay, where is it? What is this? The one. Okay lah, can lah. Tak mau lah, sekejap. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just... Mana yang group financial tadi? This one. Ini dah corporate. Corporate governance. Time nak ni lah tak ada. Okay lah, never mind lah. Yeah, I try one more time. Is it under sustainability? Group financial summary, apa ni? Okay lah, can lah. Alright. So auditor should read this other information. For what? To identify is there any inconsistencies, aka material inconsistencies. Okay, let's say when auditor read this OI, auditor saw in here, okay, this is group revenue. This year reported this much, prior year reported this much. So auditor must consider, is this consistent with FS? Okay, 2.8 million, 2.5 million. Now, let's pretend to be auditor. So we are going to look into that's how it's revenue, right? 2.8 million, 2.5 million. Is it consistent? Yes, it is consistent. So, if consistent, then okay. If inconsistent, then we are going to, what are we going to do? Refer to this. Okay, so basically, this paragraph is inserted in audit report when FS is not being issued as a standalone statement. So if FS issued with other statement, other report, as per annual report just now, we have to include this other information paragraph. Okay, so that's why 7-11 just now they did include one paragraph, OI paragraph. Okay, so examples of other information is chairman statement, CEO statement, CSR. Okay, right now, just now you read OI kan for any material inconsistencies. Okay, so step 1, if you found inconsistencies, what will you do? Step 1, identify which statement contain error. If FS contain error, then you should straight away refer to the FSEMM chart, audit report chart. Of course, if we notice that FS contain error, then we are going to ask our client to adjust first. If they are not going to adjust, then only we are going to issue qualified opinion. Okay? Now, however, there's also possibility that OI contain error. FS is accurate, but OI contain error. Okay? Now, step 2. If FS misstated, then you are going to ask management to adjust. That's what I mentioned just now. If they agree to adjust, of course, we are going to issue a good report called unmodified opinion or unqualified opinion. Same. Okay, same thing. If FS misstated, you ask management to adjust, they disagree to adjust, then of course this is issues of FSCMM. And then you issue opinion based on the pervasiveness of the issues. It could be qualified except for, as per what we have learned just now, or adverse, if it is severe, if it is pervasive. Okay, right now, step 3. If OI misstated, meaning that perhaps chairman's statement contain error. Okay, what are you going to do? You are going to ask the chairman to adjust. Berani tak ask chairman to adjust? You have to lah, kan? You have to. So if chairman or management agree to adjust, so there will be no more issues. Then you are going to issue unmodified opinion. Okay. However, if management disagree, refuse to correct some error in the chairman statement ke, CEO statement ke, whatever statement lah, in the OI lah. Okay, if they disagree to adjust error in OI, in other information, you are still going to issue unmodified opinion. Why? It's because at this point of time, financial statement show true and fair view. Okay, the error is not on FS. The error is on the OI. Remember, we issue opinion on FS. We do not issue opinion on OI. So still, since FS is, true and fair view, so yeah, still can issue unmodified opinion. However, in the OI paragraph, we are going to include, panjang, the story or the paragraph under OI will be a bit long in saying that there is a material inconsistency, let's say in the chairman's statement or in director's statement or whatever statement it is. Okay, so that is the function of OI. So basically, guys, if FS being presented together with all of this statement, OI paragraph will be there regardless if there is inconsistencies or if there is no inconsistencies, it will be there. However, if there is material inconsistencies, we are going to explain further in our report, saying that there is a material inconsistency in, let's say, a group financial summary on page blah 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 relating to blah blah blah. Okay, that is the function of OI. Any question for OM and OI? Nada? Okay, let's move on. So I think this one will be tested more in section A. I think last time someone WhatsApp me. There's one question where. Okay, later I go through again. Some of the. There's some confusion. In BPP, PRK, okay, but never mind, I will look into it later. Okay, now let's move on to the last paragraph, okay, which is MURGC. Okay, for the purpose of this, we need to learn a bit on the going concern. Okay, so I'm going to use the notes which I already I already write in my masterclass. Okay, you have this also, right? So I'm just going to use this to quickly recap. Okay, so number one, going concern is basically company able to operate for a foreseeable future. Foreseeable future here means more than 12 months after year end. Okay, so basically relating to going concern, it is management responsibility to assess whether are they still going concern or are they not going concern. Okay, once they make evaluation, whether they are GC or not GC, they have to prepare their FS accordingly. If their company is going concern, they think that their company is going concern, then you prepare your FS using historical cost convention, which is as per usual. There will be non-current asset, non-current liability, current asset, current liability, okay, as usual. So if management thought that, my company is no longer going concern, we have some difficulties. I think in 6 months, we are going to bankrupt. Okay, so management should prepare FS accordingly, which is to use breakup basis. Or another name is liquidation basis. Okay, all right. Okay, and then one more thing. If let's say the company thought that they are going concern, okay. However, there are certain a bit issues. Just like you lah kan. Sometimes you are short in money kan. This is apa? You will get your money in 2 days time. Okay, for your salary, but now in your bank account tinggal berapa? You are left with 50 ringgit. So what do you think? Can you survive 50 ringgit in 2 days? What do you think? Boleh tak? Can you survive 2 days on only having 50 ringgit? Can you? Don't know. Maybe 50-50 lah. Maybe if there is no emergency, then yes, you can survive. If there is emergency, maybe you cannot survive 2 days by having 50 ringgit kan? So that is material uncertainty. Okay, so for a company, same issues. They thought that they are going concern. They are confident, a bit confident that they are going concern. However, there are certain issues here and there. So that issues is what we call as a material uncertainty, MU. Okay, perhaps their overdraft facility is about to expire, or they have reached certain limit for the overdraft facility. What else? There's a significant drop in demand. Okay, those kind of things. Okay, so if they have MU, if the company have certain issues here and there, okay, what should they do is this. They should, okay, if yes, management should disclose in the notes to financial statement. They should disclose in saying that in saying that the bank overdraft facility has reached certain limit and the bank is still uncertain whether they want to continue or renew the bank overdraft facility or not. Okay, things like that. Right. So if there's no issues, then okay lah, you can do nothing. Okay, so all of this should be done by the management. I repeat, should be done by the management. Okay, this is an exam question. What are the responsibility of the management relating to going concern? Okay, move on. Now, what are auditor's responsibility? Auditor is very easy. Management, whatever that management should be doing or should have done, auditor is going to verify. So just now management make their own assumption, right? Whether they are GC or not GC. So auditor is only to assess whether does it make sense? Is it reasonable that management mentioned that or assume that they are going concern? Okay, assess appropriateness of the management assumption. Okay, number 2, assess is there any MU. If yes, make sure client already disclose or assess lah is the disclosure is adequate. Okay, so basically auditor's responsibility is checking whether management did their responsibility or not. Management ni dah buat kerja ke belum relating to going concern. Okay, so this is another exam question. Okay, right, next. Alright, so before that, what are the procedure? What is the procedure? What is the procedure? Hold on. How do I search? Sini ke? Macam mana I nak search? Anyone pakai ni? Oh, ada yang workbook. Okay, so now, yeah, this one. Common question in exam relating to going concern. Describe audit procedure in relation to assess whether client is still going concern or not. You nampak je when you saw the word audit procedure, you saw the word going concern. Yeah, I think this is what examiner wants from you. Which is what, apa procedure yang auditor kena buat untuk dia assess whether client ni masih going concern or otherwise. Okay, so yeah, you guys can screenshot this. I think this is the possible answer. I mean, this is the answer. In exam, examiner is going to answer about 4 or 5. Okay, so I'm going to quickly recap the procedure. Number 1, we are going to obtain forecast. It can be cash flow forecast and profit forecast because we want to see what will happen in future. Okay, next we are going to obtain the latest available FS. Okay, meaning that FS after year end lah, few months after year end. Let's say year end is December, let's say now is 27 May, right? So maybe we have FS up until April. So yeah, you obtain that FS up until April and you look into the status of the company. Are they still making revenue? And what about their ratios? Okay, things like that lah. Okay, if they have loan, you obtain the agreement. Make sure that they yet to breach or identify if they have already breached certain terms, certain covenant. Okay, next, read minutes meeting. If the company are faced with financial difficulties, they will discuss these difficulties in the board meeting. So you obtain minutes meeting. Excuse me. And last one, you talk to the lawyer. You ask them, is there any ongoing litigation? If yes, how material is the amount? Then you cross-check lah to the status of the company. Can the company still can support their operation if they need to pay that compensation, to pay that legal fee? Okay, and the following points also can use lah, but I prefer the first 5. I prefer the first 5. So up to you. You pick which one you prefer. You memorize around 5, then you are good to go to answer audit procedure relating to going concern. Okay, alright, done. That is procedure. Now, let's say you already perform all those procedure. Okay, now you want to consider. You want to consider impact on going concern on audit report. Okay, so let's go to the right side first. Okay, let's say the going concern assumption is not appropriate, meaning that management conclude that they are not going concern. Okay, so next thing you have to consider as auditor is FS prepared using breakup basis. If no, if yes means it's good, then this is what company should do. Pula I boleh pen tak jadi kat ni. Habis bateri ke? Habis bateri rupanya. Okay, so left side if FS prepared using breakup basis, when the company is no longer going concern, auditor is going to issue unmodified opinion. Because client has done correctly, right? Yeah. Okay, and then this is something that auditor would like to communicate to the user in saying that this company is no longer going concern, which is why client or this company using breakup basis to present their financial statement. So client has done correctly. It's just a matter of auditor would like to communicate to the user because this matter is fundamental to the user understanding. Okay, so that's why we include EOM. Okay, EOM. Okay, now number 2 on no. Okay, so go back up here. The company is not going concern, and when you want to consider, when you are considering, is FS prepared on breakup basis? You found out that no, FS are not prepared using breakup basis. So are you happy as auditor? Of course no. Okay, client is supposed to prepare on breakup basis, but they did not prepare on breakup basis. So the basis is basically, the basis, the presentation, the value. So of course it will impact the whole FS. So this is a very pervasive issue. Why? Because when a user read the FS, user will thought that this company is going concern. But in reality, it is not going concern anymore. So very misleading, very severe, very pervasive. Okay, therefore, which is why we are going to issue adverse opinion. Right now on the left side, the company is going concern. The company is going concern. So sorry, is the company going concern? Yes, appropriate here means that the company is going concern. Okay, so as auditor, you should consider, is there any MU? Okay, so let's say no. We go to the no first. Is there any MU? No. Is FS prepared using GC basis or HCC basis, which is as usual? Yes, it is prepared using HCC basis. So are you okay as auditor? Okay lah. This is what it should be, right? The company is going concern and there's no issue. So basically, as it is lah. Okay, so therefore we are going to issue unmodified opinion. Okay, now on the left side, this is where examiner love to test you, which is why I put star. Okay, now number one is consider, is GC appropriate? Let's say yes, it is appropriate. Next, you have to consider, is there any MU? Let's say the answer is yes. There are certain issues lah here and there. Okay, so you as auditor, you must make sure that FS prepared on GC basis or historical cost convention basis, and also include additional disclosure. Okay, so yeah, when you want to derive at your opinion, you must consider adequacy of disclosure. This is all the wording that you can use in your exam. Okay, consider adequacy of the disclosure. Okay, now your opinion will depends on the adequacy of disclosure. We go to the first one. Let's say disclosure is not made at all. I repeat, disclosure is not made at all. So is auditor happy? No lah. So up to you, up to the partner. Okay, how severe is the non-disclosure? If not so severe, then auditor will issue qualify except for opinion. If the disclosure required is serious, is severe, but client did not disclose, then auditor will issue adverse opinion. Okay, same as made but inadequate, meaning that they did disclose something, but it is not complete. Perhaps there are 3 MU, but they only disclose 1. Okay, inadequate. So again, same concept. It could be qualified except for opinion or adverse, depending on the pervasiveness of the inadequacy, or depends on pervasiveness of the issues. Alright, okay, next. Ni pun lagi lah. Examiner's favorite. Made adequate, meaning that your client, they know that they have to disclose, and they have disclosed, and surprisingly, it is adequate. Okay, so auditor is very happy. Auditor is going to issue unmodified opinion together with the MURGC paragraph. Material uncertainty relating to going concern. So basically, we are going to communicate to our user in saying that please refer to the notes number blah 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 in FS, where the company has disclosed MU, material uncertainty relating to going concern. And then auditor put in whatever that they want to communicate. Okay, so now for MURGC, the criteria. The criteria is this. Okay, number one, GC is appropriate, meaning that the company is going concern. However, there are some issues here and there. Okay, and those issues is adequately disclosed. Therefore, auditor is going to include MURGC paragraph. Why should we include? Because we want to highlight, we want to communicate with the shareholders on these disclosure things. We want to make sure that the user are aware of this MU. Okay, done. So all of this could be tested in sometimes section A, sometimes section B. I think KM is something that you want to pay attention a bit. KM, okay, and also MURGC, famous one, MURGC and KM. Okay, done. For this one, I highly suggest you to look into MCQ question to enhance your understanding. Okay, so we are not going to attempt question together for this. Okay, I leave it to you. Attempt MCQ question relating to audit report. If you have any difficulties, then let me know. I'm sorry for those who WhatsApp me. Yeah, this lately I've been quite busy. Yeah, I need some time or some days to go through my WhatsApp again and try to find out yang mana yang I belum jawab, and I will reply slowly lah before your exam. Okay, alright. Now let's take a 15 minutes break. Okay, and then we are going to look into, we have done GC kan? So one more lah, only one more, which is subsequent event. That one, I want to brief you or want to show you how to answer subsequent event question. Okay, and then I think that's it lah for our sprint class. Anything you want to add on, please let me know in the chat box. Okay, if you want me to recap on anything, then you can just let me know. Okay guys, so I will come back in 15 minutes. I'll come back in 15 minutes. Okay, young people, let's finish this. Let's finish this print classes. Okay, sorry lah, ini. Never mind. Okay, now let's go to subsequent events. Subsequent events. Okay. All right, where is subsequent event question? I don't want to go through the theory part of subsequent event anymore lah, because there's no because lah, because this is sprint class. Of course, we want to focus on exam question. Okay, did I include this in module? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, it's okay. Give me 1 second, a few seconds. I extract question to you relating to subsequent events. Subsequent event. I'm going to cover subsequent event for section B. Okay, section B. Is it this question? Hold on. Review the see. Hold on here. Where is it? Workbook. Subsequent event. I think we did attempt question for subsequent event. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Hold on here. Okay. Speech. Subsequent event. Okay, kindly download this question in the chat box. Download this question in the chat box. And I will upload in Flex as well. Subsequent event. A bit more, guys, a bit more. Jaga dekat you pula. Yeah, bye. Okay. I have one more class tomorrow for my AAA students. And then after that, yeah, then only I can take a break. Okay. Okay, now let's look into this question. Panda who? Okay, this is old question, but the requirements still being tested by examiner. Okay, I want you to refer to requirement B and requirement C. Okay, now let's jump into requirement first. Jump into requirement first. Okay, so for each of the two events above, explain whether FS require amendment. Okay, so this is basically relating to subsequent event. You have to identify whether is this adjusting event as per IS 10 or non-adjusting event. Okay, and then you have to describe procedure that should be performed in order to form a conclusion on any required amendment. So, meaning that this is the events after reporting period. What should you do as auditor before you decide, before you want to persuade management to adjust or to disclose accordingly? Okay, so 10 marks here. 10 marks here, meaning that one event 5 marks. Okay, so let's say if you only have two points or two procedure, okay, then therefore this one you allocate 3. If you have only one procedure here, then you can allocate around 4. Hold on a second. Can we have 4? Testing. Okay, like around 3 to 4. Okay. Yeah. And then usually the question will continue with the discuss the issue and explain impact on auditor's report. So for this one, you can use the chart and the step where I already showed to you just now. Okay, so 5 marks. So this one, of course, summarize the issue, materiality, FSMMOR to say, apa lagi? Material not pervasive or material and pervasive. And lastly is the opinion and basis for opinion. Okay, so easy 5 marks. Alright, now to answer requirement B. Okay, I want to go to event number 2 because I want to make use of, I want to cover C as well. Okay, so now I think we need to read the background first. So this company manufactures chemicals and has a factory and 4 off-site storage location. Okay, year-end was April. The final audit is almost complete, and FS and auditor's report are due to be signed next week. So we are at the completion stage. Okay. So revenue for the year is this much, and PBT this much. The following two events have occurred subsequent to the end. Then you know this is subsequent event question. Okay. No amendment or disclosure have been made in FS. Alright. Perhaps you need to recall back your IAS 10 events after reporting period, where there is a adjusting event and non-adjusting event. If it is adjusting event, you have to adjust FS. If it is a non-adjusting event, you have to disclose that events after reporting period in FS. However, if immaterial, if the amount is immaterial, you can ignore. Meaning that ignore here means that no need for disclosure, no need to adjust. Okay, now focus on event number 2. An explosion occurred at the smallest of the 4 offsite storage location on 20 May. So 20 May, year end is April. So this explosion occurred on 20 May. Okay, so this resulted in some damage to the inventory and PPE. Panda co-management have investigated the cause of the explosion and believe that they are unlikely to be able to claim on their insurance. Management of Panda Co has estimated that the value of damaged inventory and property was 0.9 million. Okay, this is the expected or estimated value of damage. So yeah, this is the amount that they should write off lah, since has been damaged due to the explosion. Okay, and no scrap value. So NRV is 0. Of course, need to write off lah. This 0.9 million. Okay, so how to present this answer? First, you must first identify, is this adjusting event or non-adjusting event, guys, by applying your IAS 10. Can you guys type in the chat box? Is this adjusting event or non-adjusting event? Adjusting. Okay, so that's the correct answer. So now that is the first step ever in answering subsequent event question. You must get that one. Hey, sorry, is this adjusting event? Are you sure? Saya pun nak terpengaruh dengan jawapan you. Is this adjusting event? This is not adjusting event. Why? Because this is relating to explosion, and the explosion occurred on 20 May, which is after year end. So this is a non-adjusting event, guys. If explosion occurred during the year, let's say 28th of April, okay, and suddenly after year end, they have further evidence that the total loss is 1 million. Then that is adjusting event, okay. But this explosion happened after year end, and the quantifications of the loss is also being quantified after year end. So yeah, non-adjusting event. Okay. All right. So how do I hold on? Yeah, I want to make this. I want to. Ayo. Okay. Hold on. How do I? Okay, good. Okay, so how to present this answer? Okay, we are going to answer B1 kan? So you put in here event. Okay, I'm going to demo to you, write up to you on the event 2 only. Okay, explain whether FS require amendment. Okay, so first, everything should be, we need to have some introduction. So we can say something like explosion. And this is like a summarization lah. Okay, step 1, summarize. Summarize the events after reporting period. So explosion occur on 20 May, which is after year end. Okay, okay, step 2, you mentioned, is this adjusting event or non-adjusting event? Plus why. Okay, so the next sentence would be, what's that? This event represent non-adjusting event, but in exam, of course, you need to write in full because it what? Because I like to use this wording I like to use this wording as per IAS 10, which is this one. Okay, because it provides evidence of condition that arose after. Okay, this one provide evidence of condition that exists at the year end. This one provide conditions that arose after year end. After year end date. Okay, as simple as that lah. Number 2. Okay, this one I'm not sure whether there will be marks or not. I think no lah. Okay, so okay, calculate your materiality. Sorry, not materiality. Number 3 is what management should do lah. What management should do as per your IAS 10. So you can say as per IAS 10, or if you cannot remember IAS berapa, then if you cannot quote IAS 10, you just mention as per what lah? As per relevant accounting standard. Okay, management should. Okay, since this is not adjusting, management should disclose. this matter or this event in notes to financial statement. Okay, so point number 4, sorry, I squeezed in up here, materiality. 0.9, is it 0.9? Yeah, 0.9 million loss due to PPE and inventory damage represent how many percent of, given here is PBT and revenue, right? Of revenue, and how many percent of PBT? Quickly calculate for me. 0.9 divided by 0.9, 0.9 divided by revenue is 55 times 100. Okay. 1.6 out of revenue. Okay, 1.6 out of revenue, and out of PBT, it is 0.9 divided by PBT 5.6 times 100. Is it 16? Okay, let's put it at 16.1%. Okay. Okay. Don't forget your conclusion. Hence, it is material. Okay. What else? So, yeah, this is it lah. Around 3 marks. Okay, around 3 marks. Now, this is B1. Okay, this is B1. B2, describe procedure, right? Procedure. You want management to disclose this event, and the amount that they should disclose is 0.9 million. So you want to verify this. Okay, so anything lah. Kenapa dia selalu jadi macam ni? What happened? Okay, whatever. Okay, procedure. I think I should scroll. Okay, macam ni ke? Alright. Okay, so provide 2 procedures. Okay, now, explosion happen kan? I think you can physically inspect. So this one, you can bring in your logic, you can bring in your common sense. There's an explosion at your client's premise. So you can perform physical inspection to actually understand the scale, like how big is the explosion? How serious is the explosion? Because that would, you want to assess the reasonableness of that 0.9 million. Okay, that is the purpose, that is the point of view. So physically inspect the explosion site, and to assess the scale of the explosion, and assess if 0.9 million loss is reasonable. Okay. Number 2, the hint, guys, is always on here. I mean, you want to push your client to disclose this loss of 0.9 million. Of course, you have to do some work on that 0.9 million. Okay, so next one will be obtain breakdown lah. Obtain breakdown on list of what? All the the correct things to say always in the scenario. So you just refer back to the scenario. So obtain breakdown on list of inventory and PPE damage. Okay. Obtain breakdown on list of inventory or PPE damage. To ensure accuracy of 0.9 million loss. Okay, done. Okay. Alright, now a bit of extra information to you. Okay. They did mention something about insurance. Okay, now for AA point of view. Let's say loss is 0.9 million. Let's say insurance willing to cover 0.5 million. So the net loss will be 0.4 million. Okay, this is AA lah, because actually in AAA the treatment is quite different, but in AA they put it this way. Okay, so when you want to calculate the materiality of materiality of the issues, you are going to calculate based on the net loss after insurance already covered. Okay. In AAA, actually it should be disclosed in 2 separate items, meaning that loss lah, and insurance is considered to be another item to be disclosed. Okay, but anyway, if there is if let's say insurance cover part of the loss, then you are going to calculate the net impact, which is 0.4 million. So when you calculate the materiality, it should be based on the 0.9 million lah, 0.4 instead of 0.9. Okay, and then procedure here, you might want to obtain documentation from the insurance company to verify that the company is going to receive 0.5 million compensation. Okay, but it is not applicable in this scenario. Alright, let's move on. Okay, so we have 5 marks here. Okay, what else? Requirement C. Okay, do not wish to make any amendment or disclosure for the explosion. So is it material? Yes. Even though it is relating to disclosure, if client refuses to disclose, remember, non-disclosure is also represent FSCNM. Financial statement now contain material misstatement. Okay, so follow the step I've shown you just now. Number one, you are going to summarize, okay? Saying that, never mind, I write down for you. You can say the exclusion, and exclusion which lead to loss of 0.9 million is non-adjusting event. Therefore, hence should be disclosed in notes to financial statement. Okay, so 0.9 million, should we calculate again? Never mind, just calculate lah. 0.9 million represent, okay, blah blah blah, as per B. Okay, therefore it is material to the FS. Okay, what else? Materiality. Okay, then non-disclosure relating to events after reporting period is considered to be financial statement contain material misstatement. Okay, FSMM. So next, after FSMM, what is the status now? Material and pervasive, right? Material and not pervasive. So these issues is only material but not pervasive, because it only affects, we have to justify why it only affects disclosure in FS. Okay, that is sufficient. So next point is, next step, as per my notes just now, materiality, FSMM, material not pervasive, then you are derived at the opinion, right? So appropriate opinion which will be issued is qualified except for opinion. Okay, then the next sentence is basis for qualified opinion will be inserted after opinion paragraph to further explain, okay, on the non-disclosure. Okay, so stop. Okay, so yeah, if not 5 marks pun, then you get, I think this is 5 marks lah. Okay, if not 5 marks pun, then that is 4, which is more than enough for you to get a strong pass. Done. This is how you answer subsequent event question. Usually, guys, this question will be tested if it came out in section B. Usually, being tested in the last question. Okay, after examiner may choose to be a bit nasty, they test you on subsequent event and followed by audit report question. Okay, so like 2 in 1 lah. 2 in 1. Okay, done. Okay, done. Alright. Okay, so okay, what else? Okay, so the part where I did not cover with you specifically, but we did cover this when we answered MCQ question, is corporate governance, internal audit, ethics, and some theory question. Okay, yeah. On the theory question, you just revise those questions which usually tested in exam. Okay, look for the keyword and yeah, and look for the keyword and yeah, start from there lah. That one is for theory. Ethics, there's only 5 ethics issues, which is not issues, threat, self-interest, self-interest, advocacy, familiarity, and intimidation. Make sure you familiarize yourself with the, like what if this is the issue, what is the common ethics ethical threats. Okay, threat to the independence. And if ethics came out in section B, make sure you explain well why there is self-review, why there is self-interest. Don't just mention this could lead to self-interest. Instead, you should expand a bit more. Okay, for double A, a bit more on your answer on why do you think it could lead to self-interest threat. Perhaps because auditor would want the fees. Okay, auditor would depend on the client to receive to generate income. Okay, let's say for self-review, perhaps auditor will be less skepticism in reviewing the works of the same colleague and colleague in the same firm. Okay, make sure you explain why there is such threat instead of just mention the threat. Okay, what else? So remember, for audit risk, bring in your skepticism, put in your skepticism, the specific accounts impacted, and whether that accounts could be over or under. Then your response. Response, yes, you need a lot of practice to make sure that you are comfortable in writing that response. Okay, internal control, examiner maybe use few cycle system to test you. Okay, and you have to know how to present your answer for deficiency, recommendation, and TOC, and also direct control and also TOC. Make sure you know how to play with the wordings, okay, which I already discussed with you. And on SP, think about analytical procedure, think about assertion, and think about the accounting standard. Okay, most of the time, examiner did give some guidance in the scenario on what to be included in your answer. Okay, and bear in mind, SP is all about you confirming the figure in FS. So don't go questioning management decision to, let's say, open another shop. That is a common mistake lah, okay? But don't do that lah, okay? And then what else? And don't use observe. In SP, do not use observe. Okay, it is the wrong answer. Okay, and then after SP, then maybe you are going to be tested relating to audit reports. But audit report is quite, sometimes it is the easy audit report. Sometimes relating to additional paragraph. Sometimes they combine dengan going concern. Sometimes combine dengan subsequent event. Okay, so you have to be mindful lah on that, whether which one should I, which chart should you look for? Which chart should you refer? Is it the normal audit report flow, or you have to refer to the going concern punya flow? Okay, make sure you aware that that issues is relating to which issues. If FSCMM alone, then you can use the chart just now lah. FSCMM or auto-say, then consider whether material not pervasive or material and pervasive, and then you will derive at the appropriate opinion. However, if audit opinion question, audit report question tested on GC, then you might need to use this chart right here to derive at appropriate opinion. Okay? Yeah. So I hope by you attending this spring class, you will understand better on what audit is all about, because I think at the end of the day, if you understand what audit is all about, then the chance for you to pass the exam is slightly higher. Yeah, because once you understand things, you know how to write, it will improve your quality of your answer. Okay? Right. I think I've done. I already covered everything that I wish to cover for this spring class session. So I wish you guys all the best. Don't panic. Panic will not bring you any good. I don't know. Find some ways to be not panic. Kalau I tak suka bawa notebook pergi exam hall, I will just leave everything behind. I just bawa I punya botol air and stationery je, because I don't like to feel overwhelmed. So kalau orang lain nak study, biar je lah. I tak nak. I know it's in my mind. Okay, you need to, before you sit for that 3 hours exam, you must make sure that your mind is relaxed enough. Please don't, 5 to 6 hours before you go to exam, please don't read anything anymore. Okay, maybe you cannot recall at that point of time, but when you look into the question, most of the time you can recall back, this is about this. Okay, so make sure before exam, your mind is relaxed to ensure, because 3 hours exam is an extreme sport for your brain. So to be able to, give your best, your mind must be in a very good condition, relaxed and focused. Okay, AA is not that difficult pun sebenarnya. You can look into easy points in the question. There always easy point. Ada je kat mana-mana somewhere easy points. Okay. Alright, so with that, I think that's it for today. I will send to you in WhatsApp your mock exam results. Okay, I'm still marking. I'm so sorry because I have AAA and AA, and everything is written based, so I have to really read line by line. So need extra time for me to finish up all that. Okay, so I will see you on your, I don't know, maybe I see you outside. Okay, or let me know if you pass the exam. Okay, right guys. So bye bye. I wish you all the best. I doakan you semoga pass above 60. Okay, thank you for being so proactive. Bye bye. Welcome. Sama-sama.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, and I also apologize for any shortcomings at my side.